Mordecai, as presented in the Bible book of Esther and understood through the lens of Jehovah's Witnesses publications and commentary, such as those found on jw.org and in the Insight on the Scriptures volumes, is a figure of considerable integrity, courage, and faith, someone whose example the witnesses hold up as worthy of careful study and imitation. He played a pivotal role during a critical period in the Jewish exile under the Persian Empire, and his actions directly influenced the survival of the Jewish people under the rule of King Ahasuerus, often identified with Xerxes I. According to the narrative found in the Book of Esther, Mordecai was a Jew of the tribe of Benjamin, descended from those carried away into exile from Jerusalem. He had a familial connection to Queen Esther. He was actually her older cousin and, after the premature death of her parents, he raised her as if she were his own daughter. As Jehovah's Witnesses emphasize, this protective care shows that Mordecai wasn't simply a distant relative but took his responsibilities seriously. He taught Esther not only the fundamentals of daily life but undoubtedly also the spiritual heritage of Israel and the worship of Jehovah, preparing her for the extraordinary role she would later fulfill. Through witness perspectives, we see that Mordecai's upbringing instilled in Esther a strong faith and a willingness to stand firm for what was right, qualities that would be tested in extraordinary ways. One key aspect Jehovah's Witnesses often highlight is Mordecai's unwavering loyalty to Jehovah's standards and his humble obedience to divine principles. This adherence is illustrated in his refusal to bow to Haman, a high-ranking official in the Persian court. Bowing in ancient times could be a mere sign of respect, but evidently, something about Haman, whether it was his Amalekite background or the connotations of obeisance, conflicted with Mordecai's conscience before God. Instead of following the crowd, Mordecai held to a course of integrity, even though it drew intense hostility from Haman. Jehovah's Witnesses often refer to this episode to demonstrate that true worshippers may sometimes find themselves at odds with prevailing customs or human authorities, not out of stubbornness but out of devotion to higher principles. Mordecai's position, sitting in the king's gate, suggests he served in some administrative or judicial capacity. While not among the Persian nobility, he was close enough to the center of affairs to overhear critical pieces of information, such as the assassination plot against King Ahasuerus. When Mordecai learned of this plot, he did not remain silent. He reported the matter to Esther, who in turn passed it on to the king, saving the monarch's life. Jehovah's Witnesses draw attention to this moment as an illustration of another attribute: honesty and respect for legitimate authority. Although living under foreign rule, Mordecai showed proper regard for the king's life and position. His loyalty was not blind. He was loyal first to Jehovah, but it did not prevent him from acting responsibly within the system he found himself in. The events leading to the Jewish deliverance hinge on Mordecai's guidance and subtle influence. When Haman set out a genocidal plan to annihilate the Jews, Mordecai's calm, unwavering faith shone through once again. He did not panic, nor did he counsel Esther to react rashly. Instead, he approached her with the memorable words that perhaps she had come to her royal dignity for such a time as this. Jehovah's Witnesses note that this counsel reflected a deep understanding of divine providence. Mordecai recognized that Jehovah can use individuals and circumstances to accomplish his protective will for his people. Rather than rely on his own cleverness or try to negotiate with Haman directly, Mordecai placed his confidence in Jehovah's ability to guide Esther's courageous appeal to the king. Ultimately, Mordecai's role in the great reversal of fortunes, where Haman's evil scheme backfired, resulting in Haman's own downfall, is another hallmark of divine vindication that witnesses highlight. After the crisis passed, Mordecai himself was elevated to a position of even greater trust and honor within the Persian Empire. He replaced Haman's position of authority, now becoming a chief advisor to the king. This elevation was not the result of personal ambition or cunning manipulation. Rather, it was a natural outcome of his proven loyalty, honesty, and faithful service. Jehovah's Witnesses often draw encouragement from such an example, showing that while God does not necessarily guarantee material promotion in this system of things, integrity frequently yields respect and positive outcomes, even among those who may not share one's faith. From the standpoint of Jehovah's Witnesses, Mordecai is more than just a historical figure. He embodies principles relevant to Christian life today. His example speaks to maintaining integrity under pressure, showing loyalty to God rather than to human traditions, and caring for loved ones while acting courageously in behalf of one's spiritual family. In witness literature, Mordecai is also referenced as a model of trust in Jehovah's timing. He humbly did what was right without seeking praise for himself. When the time was right, Jehovah caused the king to remember Mordecai's past loyalty, the exposure of the assassination plot, on a crucial night when sleep eluded him. This incident shows that God can move events at just the right moment to highlight the faithfulness of his servants. Additionally, Mordecai's story underscores a recurring theme that Jehovah's Witnesses find throughout the Bible: Jehovah's ability to preserve his people despite seemingly insurmountable human obstacles. Please share and like, and please subscribe.